Hello guys, so we're talking about practical number 700, which is the 45-degree cut. So I have my mannequin section in 4 sections. I also dropped down about a ½ inch section of hair here. Okay, let's make sure that it is wet. If it's not, just go ahead and spray it. Now, we did a blunt cut, so this already has a guideline at the bottom. Okay, we want to make sure that that's wet as well. So we already have our guideline established right here with a blunt cut, okay? We're gonna be taking down ½ inch sections to inch sections. So this is a 45-degree cut, so let's do about a ½ inch section so we can follow our guideline. You comb the hair and you part it the way you comb it. Get this up out of your way. Again, I'm going to go ahead and turn it. It's easier for me to turn than to keep walking around and getting into the view of the camera. So again, I'm going to comb it the way I want to part it. About a ½ inch, it looks like about right. Nice clean sections. Get this up out of your way. Okay, so when we get started in this, and you can see my mannequin right here, I'm going to start right in the middle. Let's get this a little more wet. Okay, so when you're cutting on a 45, okay, a 45-degree angle is going to be brought slight out like this right here, okay? So you're bringing it slight out. If I were to bring this, now you remember the bend of the head, so we're not lifting it totally up where you have that bend in the hair. We want it straight out and slide out right there, as you can see, okay? So I'm going to start right in the middle and just get out a little section here. And I'm combing it like so. Once I reach there, you can see there, so I'm going to go ahead and chop that off. Now this is my guide, so I'm going to hold on to that, grab another section. So I'm making sure that this goes straight out. Once my fingertips reach that bottom, that's my guide. Everything else comes off. I'm cutting about a ½ inch off. Don't take a large parting. You want to make sure that you can see your guide. Okay, so I'm going to drop some of that section that I have and bring this out to a 45. Everything else gets cut off. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my last section and see how I'm doing that from top to bottom. So the hair is sideways. You can see there's my guide. That comes off. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's see if you can see it right here. Again, the middle I did. So now I'm going to take this section. If you drop some, that's okay. Just recomb. Not a big deal. Once you get that guide, everything else comes off. Drop a little bit of that, keep some of my guideline in there. See how the guide stops there? Everything else comes off. Drop a little bit of that guide, this is called a traveling guide, guys, because it's moving with you. Everything else comes off. Once you do this, go ahead and drop another section down. About a ½ inch is all you really need. You can go with an inch. Do a little bit more here. But keep it a ½ inch so that way you know that you can control that. Okay, and you know you're not going to lose your guide. If you go over a 1/2 inch, you may lose that guide. Again, I can start right here in the middle. Get a manageable, make sure that comes straight out. And with this new one, it doesn't have much to cut there. We're going to be cutting more off. There's my guide, so everything else comes off. Hold that into your hand so you don't lose that guide. And grab another section, another inch to 1/2 inch section. Bring this all out. If there's anything in there that's over, go ahead and cut it off. Now when you're dealing with some of the newer mannequins, you're going to run out of hair to cut fast. Okay? But when you're dealing with the older mannequins, and I'm going to kind of cut sideways here, guys, so that you can see. You can see there's that needs to be cut off. And then I want to start over here on this side. I have some in the middle. Take some of that because that was where my guide started, was right in the middle. Anything that's beyond that, cut it off. You will probably have more to cut off than me because I have a newer mannequin. And I'm only cutting 1/2 inch. If I was cutting off more, I would have more to cut off. Like if I was cutting 1 inch, I'd probably be a better off and have a little bit more to cut. I'm going to go ahead and drop another 1/2 inch section. Let's go ahead and go with 1 inch. And I'm trying to move a little bit quicker here, guys. Again, I'm just going to start right here in the middle. I'm going to get a nice section. Get that out of my way. You can comb that out of your way. Make sure it's at 45. Got just a little bit to cut off, not much. Again, take a piece of that section, bring it over into your new section that you're going to cut. Make sure this goes from top to bottom because now the hair is going vertical instead of horizontal. And you can see just a little bit there to cut off. I want to keep going over. Make sure you bring some of this section, this guideline, over into the new section here. Here's my guideline, cut the rest off. So you can see I'm really not getting a lot to cut off anymore. I'm running out of hair to cut off. Here's the middle where I started, so I'm going to bring this section over, take away some of that. So I have my guideline in there. And just some hair, a few hairs to cut off. Divide that traveling guideline so I can have the guideline in my new section that I'm going to cut. Again, bring it down to a 45. And you can see there's really, the guideline is pretty much there. Once I get that, just a little bit right here, and that's it. Bring my mannequin over. it right here in the front because I didn't get that piece a minute ago. I'm gonna bring that hair straight down to a 45. Find my guideline, which is right there. Anything is sticking above the guideline, go ahead and cut off. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and drop down this section. And really, ideally, I shouldn't have anything to cut here. Let's just see. And I don't, because the hair is not long enough from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to just go ahead and drop these sections down because I don't have anything more to cut. If I had stuff sticking out, then yes, I would cut. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to bring the front in. I'm just going to comb this straight down. And again, I'm just going to bring this straight over, take my section out. Comb this together because we want to make sure we have that section in there. About half of this is my guideline on that side. And I just bring this down. Once I find my guideline, excuse me, everything else gets cut off. Bring this together to the front, bring it to a 45, find that guideline, which is right there, and then cut the rest off. Bring down this section. Another ½ inch or so. A nice clean section there. Let's get rid of one of those clips. And kind of comb this out of my way. Start right here. Use your comb too, and you can see it's pretty much there. Just a little bit of cleanup, nothing major. And again, just a little bit of cleanup. Bring another section down. It should be just cleanup, and there's really nothing else to cut there because it's already, the hair's too short from the top. And you can see it's a straight line. There's nothing else to cut there. And you keep dropping it down, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side, guys. So that is going to be your 45-degree cut. So again, make sure again when you're doing your sections, you're going at it like this. Okay, normally when you cut hair, you're coming straight down, okay? But when you're doing this, you're gonna be going at an angle and cutting like that right there, okay guys? So, that is your 45-degree cut. When you bring these sections, just kind of comb through, make sure that they are still pretty even, and if they're not, just kind of even them out there and bring everything in. But that's gonna be your 45-degree cut. And good luck with that. Make sure you do this in a video and you explain to me everything you're doing. Do it in sections. Do not just drop the hair down and start doing 45-degree cuts. It's not going to work for you. You're going to have a hot mess on your hands. Do this in sections. Drop it down in ½ inch sections. Explain that to me in your video as well. Okay, very important, so that you know you have the control you need. Okay, guys? All right, guys, so that is your 45-degree cut. And that is number 700 practical, and we'll see how you do.